Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth to rule well. Alright, this is the brother Izar. I'm out here in Cedar Park, Leander, Texas. Alright, and I'm just going to be going into the mark of the beast, you know, because that's something that's important that's coming. So let me go to it. This is Revelation. Revelations 13. Let me start off at verse 1. Revelations 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the names of blasphemy. Alright, that's talking about Salakia. Alright, that's talking about well, let me go to it. This is Revelation 17. 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. Alright? So in Revelations 13 and 1, and I stood upon the sand of the sea. Alright, that's talking about the midst of the people. Alright, I stood up in the midst of the people. It says, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. Alright, so a beast rose up out of those people that he stood in front of. Alright, so there's a beast system that is made up of people. Alright, that doesn't mean that a beast is a literal monster that's going to come out of the dark abyss or the hollow earth. Alright, because that's extra shit, superfluity shit. You know? That beast represents NATO, the EU, all right, which in 1957, all right, you had the EEC, which made the Roman treaty, and it was made up of 10 kingdoms, all right. Now I'm going to read the 10 kingdoms, all right, which was the 10 horns. It's Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, England, and West Germany. All right, that was in 1957, where the EU and NATO, also known as the EEC, made the Roman Treaty. You know, which as I continue, we're gonna go back to. All right, so it says, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. All right, those 7 heads are 10 kingdoms, 10 rulerships of Esau, Edom. All right, so the first would be the Greek, which is the first king that ruled on that stead, you know, of the Edomites. Elder Apostle Tahar made a video, all right, talking about signs in the sky, you know, the signs in the sky. And the one that he brought out was Revelations 13, you know. And then I went in, you know, and I'm sure other brothers are going to go in on it. But, you know, those 2 horns represent, you know, the peak of Esau, Edom, which is this kingdom, all right, and the rising of Israel, which is happening right now, you know. Yesterday I talked about Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, all right, which is going to be the rise of Israel, you know, when Israel comes back into power. More like when Israel turns back to their power, which is Yahweh the Most High. You see? So it says, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea. So a system. It says having 7 heads and 10 horns. 7 heads. That beast is talking about the 7 past kingdoms that it had. You know, which, like I said, it talks about the Greek, which was the first, the Romans, Germania Major, Germania Minor. There was a 1,000-year period, all right, that Esau Edom was shut down. And then you had the Spanish, which makes it 5, the English, so like the Spanish, the French, and the English, you know, which makes it 7. And then out of the 7th, what is that, Revelations, also 17, and this is Revelation 17 and 10. It says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. All right, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. It says, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. That word perdition means destruction. All right, so the 8th is of the 7. That means it's a Edomite rulership also. All right, so the 8th came from the 7, and out of Great Britain came America. All right, which is the 8th, the great horde. You know. So in Revelation 13, it says, having 7 heads, which are the 7 Edomite kingdoms, all right? The Greek, the Roman, Germania Major, Germania Minor, the Spanish, the French, and the English, all right? And of the 7 came the 8th, which is America, Babylon the Great, all right? Then it says, and 10 horns. The 10 horns I read earlier a minute ago, all right? Which was in 1957, the EEC Treaty of Rome. All right, so let me read them again. Number 1, Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Germany, Ireland, England, and West Germany. All right, at that time, Germany, there was a Germany and a West Germany. All right, and then when you look it up on Wikipedia, the Treaty of Rome, they only name 9. All right, they only name 9. Reason being is because they put Germany and West Germany into one, you know? And I've said this before, but it's like saying, you know, North Carolina and South Carolina, you know? It's like saying there's not 50 states, there's actually 40, what would that be, like 46? All right? Because you have a north and a south, man. It's 2 different ones, you know? Just like Germany, and then you had West Germany. It was 2 different things, you know? But they want to put it into 9 so there's no suspicion, you know? And they even started adding more nations unto it, you know? So that those that didn't catch it, it's going to slip their mind. But that's what Yahweh Shem Yahushai has revealed it unto his saints, unto his prophets. You know, saw them from Elder Tahar on down. You know, from his elders and our elders. It says, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. All right, blasphemous. All right, deceitful tongue. You know, wicked. And that's Esau Edom, man. You know, he speaks nothing but lies. So it says, Verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. All right? So that dragon represents the Roman. All right? That dragon represents the Roman. So the Roman Empire gave his seat, his throne, unto the next in line, and the next in line, and the next in line. All right? Which goes to show that they're all Edomite nations. You know? It was connected through the Edomites. So it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. All right? So, to wonder is like to marvel. All right? To go after. You know? They went after the beast system. You know? Going after the westernized way of thinking. Westernized way of living. You know? So let me go back up. In verse 2, it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. All right? Which was the beginning of the Edomite rulership, you know? That's in Daniel. Daniel chapter 8. And let me start up at verse 3. Daniel 8 and 3. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. All right, that's talking about the Medo-Persian Empire, you know, because they started in the east, and they started pushing west, north, and south. You know, that's why it doesn't mention the east, because it's talking about them. You know, and then it says, and I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great. All right. So that was around 549 BC. You know, when the Medo-Persian Empire was completely destroying everything. You know, it says, and it says one horn was bigger than the other, you know, which is the Medes and the Persians. Because one ended up overtaking the other, you see. Just like Esau, Edom, and Jacob, all right? You know, the elder shall serve the younger, you know? It was talking about 2 different nations, 2 different people. And in this occasion, it's talking about the Medes and the Persians, all right? And one, even though they were ruling around the same time, a powerhouse, all right? One still came up more powerful than the other, you know? So it says, verse 5, and as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground, and the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. All right. It says, and he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. All right, that part's talking about Alexander the Great and the Greek actually. All right, it's talking about the Greek. The Greek came in, all right. When they came in, they started overtaking everything, you know. And at that time, no one could stand up to that power. But when Alexander the Great came in, that's why he's named the Great, all right, because of the great accomplishes that he did through the power of Yahweh. You know, he wasn't worshiping the Most High, all right, but the Most High chose him to do that. You know, so it says that he touched not the ground, all right, because he was swift, all right. He was swift. You know, like King David, when he would go to war, he was swift. You know, he was just rushing through the floor, man, destroying his enemies. All right. Same thing with Alexander. So it says, verse 7, and I saw him come close to the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down. All right, and that word choler means to be bitter. All right, he was bitter against, you know, somebody else having as much power as him or being powerful. You know, because Alexander the Great was purely made by the Most High, all right, to take down that kingdom, man, to be that ruler. You know, he spoke it through Daniel the prophet, and he made it come true. It says, therefore, the he-goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken. And for it came up four nations, four notable ones, towards the four winds of the heaven. All right, and that continues on after Alexander the Great. All right, his kingdom was split into four, and then after the four came Antiochus Epiphanes. All right, so it's going through a little bit of history, you know. So I'm gonna jump down to verse 21, and it says, "And the rough goat is the king of Grecia." All right, Yawan. All right, Yawan, which is the Greeks. It says, and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king. All right, so the first king of the Greeks would be Alexander the Great. All right, so he was moved against the Medo-Persian Empire, you know, and he was known as the leopard. Him and his father Philip of Macedon, they would wear a leopard, like a leopard skin on their horses, you know. So it says, now that being broken, whereas four stood up for it, four kingdoms shall stand up out of the nation, but not in his power. All right, so they didn't come to the power that Alexander the Great had. All right, but they stood up in that stead. You see, this is Maccabees chapter 1, First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1, and it says, First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 1, and it happened after that Alexander, the son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. All right, so the first over the Greeks, which was the very beginning of the Edomite rulership. That's why nowadays they make a big deal about Alexander the Great. You know, that's why they make such a big deal about knowing some Greek mythology. And that's why they make a big deal about the Roman Empire. All right, they don't do too much fuzz about the Egyptians. You know, even though Esau Edom was in Egypt too. You know, Ptolemy. You see? But they do a big, they do big things. And they almost celebrate, and they do celebrate, the Edomite accomplishments. They don't celebrate the so-called Negroes' accomplishments. They celebrate the Edomite accomplishments, man. You know? And that's just how it is. So, it says, and made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. And when through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, and he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over the countries, and the nations and kings, who became tributaries unto him. You see? So the Greeks, whenever they came into rulership, all right, whenever they came into rulership, people feared Alexander the Great, which is that little horn that came from that ram. That little horn was the first king of Greece, Alexander the Great, which is the beginning of Edomite rulership. You know, he was also known as a leper. So like not a leper, well, he is a clean leper. You know, because he's a so-called white man. But he was seen as a leopard. You know, is how the scriptures talk about him. All right. So back in Revelations 13 and verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, which is the very beginning of the Edomite rulership. It says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. All right, and that bear right there represents Russia. All right, because Russia is the end of America. You see, Gog and Magog, whenever they're established, or whenever they establish the war, all right, they're gonna end America along with these other nations. You know, but the main one's gonna be America, which represents the bear. All right, and if you go into the communist bear, all right, it's a Russian bear. You know, so it says, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. All right, which represents England. The mouth also represents power. You know? And who gave America his power? The English. All right? That's the source, man. The English. You know? You also have, you know, the British. All right? They had the lion and the crown. You know? The lion and the crown. That was a representative of England. You even have their, I believe it's their flag, where you have two lions, all right? And they're both standing up like this, facing each other. The ELP, all right, the English League, you know, for football, soccer, the English League, you have, what's it called, the lion, all right? And he has his paw on a soccer ball, and he has a crown, all right? It's a lion and a crown. So that lion, the mouth of that lion, represents the English, all right? Great Britain. It says, and the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority, all right? So that great authority that was given was by the Roman Empire, all right? Because that rulership was up here, all right? And in comparison, like Elder Tahar said, in comparison, all right, the Roman Empire today would be America, Babylon the Great, all right, in comparison. That's why in the next verse where it says that deadly wound was healed, all right, it's America, man. The 1957 Treaty of Rome, you know? So it says, verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. All right? That fell, all right, and then they try to revive the Roman Empire, and it never came back up, all right, it stayed dead. You know, they try to rise it up for like maybe a couple years, and then it went back down. You know, it couldn't sustain itself anymore. So as you continue, all right, Germania Major, Germania Minor, there was a 1,000-year period, all right, where this devil was put down. All right, the Most High took that knowledge from them, all right, became cavemen, You know, they were servants. All right, and then he brought that knowledge back into them. You know, and what was it? 1940. I want to say it was 1945, 42. All right, when the United States of America basically adopted these German scientists. All right, and that's how they made the technology that they have, the nukes. You know, to the German scientists, man, or to go to the moon, like it. You know, so they can go to the moon. And I'll continue reading it because it'll go into that in a little bit. So it says, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? All right, so this dragon, all right, being you know, the established power, all right, people look at America like, who's gonna make war with America? You know, who's gonna make war with America, man? After they dropped the nuke in Nagasaki, Hiroshima, you know, he maketh wonders to come, fire to fall from the heavens. That's talking about the nukes, you know. So people are like, whoa, man, who can make war with this guy? You know, he's too powerful. And that's how they see America. All right, so it says, and they worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. All right, so those 42 months are about 300, let me see, 350, all right, 350 years, you know, 350 years were given to this beast to continue in that great power. And like I said, in 19, like around, okay, so you have 1620, all right, when America was being, you know, established. 350 years later is 1970, all right? And that's around the time that they went to the moon, you know? So, or they say they went to the moon, all right? But their nest is up there in the stars, man. They have the ISS, International Space Program, or the International Space, I forgot what it's called, but I know it's the ISS. All right, so they have that established already, you know, and that was around 1970 when Apollo and all those missions started happening. All right, but in 1945, I believe it was, that's when they took in the Nazi scientists and they brought them over here because the Germans are the smartest Edomites that the Most High made. All right, so around 1970. You see a decline after, all right, the society of Babylon. You know, they couldn't, you know, what other accomplishments are you gonna make, man? You know, I mean, you hit the highest mark. You know, Neil Armstrong said, one small step for man, all right, one small step for man, and one giant leap for humanity. All right, because that's your peak. You know, the Most High said he's gonna bring you all the way up, and when you build your nest upon the stars, he's gonna continue to bring you down. All right, so from 1970, you know, you have these things, and you have the prophets that started coming out. You know, around that time period, ish, the prophets started coming out. 2009, it started blowing up even more. You know, and in present day, we see all these prophecies unfolding, you know, maybe not fully laid out, but they're still unfolding. And some are fully laid out, man. Some are happening as we speak, you know, earthquakes in diverse places, you know, deaths, destructions, wars, rumors of wars. Those are all prophecies, man. There's a post that says what was it, out of 300 and something years that the United States, all right, that the 50 states have been a nation, all right, 222 years or something like that, it's been about war. So let that sink in, man. You know, that's what this place is all about. It's all about war. Divide and conquer. All right, that's something that they like to push. You know, why? Because like Yahweh Shai said, a house divided against itself cannot stand. You know, so it says, and there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. All right, because at that time America could do whatever the hell he wanted to. You know, blaspheming, saying that they are the real Jews. You know, saying that the Lord was a so-called white man, saying that the Most High was a so-called white man. You know, saying that we were nothing but a bunch of monkeys and you know, useless space. You know, they were blaspheming the tabernacle of Yahweh, man. You know, that's why these devils are coming down. So it says, and when he opened his mouth, his blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. All right, because that name Jehovah, all right, that name Jesus, all right, those are names that they want to put on a white man, you know, especially the name of the Lord, man. You know, they're changing his name from Yahweh Shai, which is the true name, to Jesus. Jesus is a Greek name, you know, and it even goes back further, man. You know, when you start researching these Greek gods and their origins, Babylonian gods, all right, you go to Sepis, or Apis, which is a god that they worshipped, a bull. That's a bull that they worshipped in Egypt, you know? So when Israel came out of Egypt, they told Aaron, please make us something that we can worship, all right? Because Moses, all right, we don't know what happened to Moses. You know, he's been up there in that mountain for a while. We don't know what happened to him. So Aaron made them a molten image of a calf, which is a bull, all right, a baby bull, basically saying like we're little Egypt, you know, calling themselves after the name of Egypt, man. So what happened to them? They were slain, you know, and that was the god of peace, all right. Later on, the god of peace was known as Serapis, all right, by Ptolemy, that went to Egypt, which was an Edomite. He went to Egypt, all right, and he established himself as a god, all right, and he worshipped a different god, all right. He combined a Greek and an Egyptian god together and named them Serapis, which is Osiris and Apis, all right. So Serapis became known as a god, later named as Serapis Christos, all right. Serapis Christos was worshipped as the Messiah by a lot of Israelites, even up to date, you know. And then later, Serapis Christos was changed to Zeus Christos, and later to Zeus, all right. And to say Zeus in the Greek is Jesus, and to say Jesus in the Greek is Jesus, right? Jesus. So it's the same thing, man. You know, and it was done that way for a reason. All right, it was done that way for a reason, so that the Greek, all right, can start turning and going for the what's that word? So they can start worshiping that God, you know? Start worshiping a God that's similar. Just like nowadays, all right, you have the Kanye shoes, the Yeezys, all right? Say they're $250. And then you have some other shoes that are knockoff versions, and they're called Yeezys, instead of Yeezys, and they cost you 50 bucks, and they looked exactly the same. Which ones are you gonna buy? All right? You're gonna go with the cheaper one, you know? So the knockoff version of this truth is Christianity, man, you know? Because it's all based upon pagan religion. Christmas, all right, the New Year, it all goes back to the Greeks, the Romans, the Egyptians, you know? That's why this place, America, is known as Babylon the Great, spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, all right? For that same reason. So it says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. All right, so let me go to 2nd Esdras. You know what, let me go to Genesis 27 first. What was it, 37? I think it was 37. Nope. This is Genesis 27 and verse 37. And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. All right. So in Revelations 13 and 10, as I'm going to get into, all right, all nations are going to be subject unto Jacob. All right. Because Jacob have I loved and Esau have I hated, as the scripture states. So this is talking about Jacob being blessed. All right. And Esau wants the same blessing. It says, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven above. All right, so Esau was given a blessing by Isaac through the Spirit, you know? And that blessing that he gave him through the Spirit was the dwelling place of the earth, all right? He gave him dominion, you know, which ties in with that. So this is 2nd Esdras. Brought this one out earlier today. 2nd Esdras chapter 6. Chapter 6, 2nd Esdras 6 and 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of a man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question Esdras asked thou not. Why? Because like we read, the bear, which represents the feet, is the end of America. All right? So then that means that the heel, all right, is the very last part of the foot, you know? Meaning the very beginning of the kingdom of Israel. All right? So the end of Esau is the beginning of Israel, man. So right now we're you know, translating over, you know? Let me get Sirach. Let me get Sirach. Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man rule of the city is such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And who is profitable above everybody else is Yahweh Shai. All right? Yahweh Shai is profitable above everybody else, man. All right? So it says, in the hand is the prosperity of man. All right? In the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man. And upon the persons of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices. All right? Let me see. This is Sirach, chapter 11 and verse 21. Marvel not at the works of sinners, but trust in Yahweh, and abide in thy labor. For it is an easy thing in the sights of the Lord, and a sudden make a poor man rich. All right, on the sudden to make a poor man rich. So that's why for unruly practices, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right. So right now we're at those end times, man. And we've been at the end times from the time that the Lord came, as scripture says. That's why you have those fires going on over there in Australia. Those fires that were going on in the Amazon. 1,000 earthquakes in 1 month hit over there in the islands. You know? The wars that are kicking up. And people make fun of that type of stuff, man. All right, but when Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai comes back, they're not going to make fun of anything anymore. They're going to be crying for their lives. Men's hearts are going to be failing them for fear. You know? Those are things that are going to happen, man. So going back to, what was it? What was I going to get? Let me see. Job. Let me get Job. This is Job 9 and 24. Job 9. Salakia. I'll come back to this one too. Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. And the wicked man has covered the faces of the Israelites, man. He blasphemes and says that they're so-called white man. All right. The so-called white man. Because granted, you're going to have some brothers that are going to be light-skinned. Some that are going to be darker skinned. You know, but it's according to the spirit. So it says, like your wrong one. I'll let it go. Go back to it. This is Job. This is Job 20 and 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place see him, neither shall his place any more behold him. All right? That's talking about Esau, Edom. Because when you go to Psalms, it's a lot. Psalms. I'll come back to this one. Psalms. We'll hold this one. Those are Psalms 55. Damn people, man. Damn people. This is Psalms 55 or 58, 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. All right, so the same thing that Esau Edom did with the Native Americans. All right, he did the same thing with the Aztecans, the Mayans, all right, and the natives surrounding the Mayan Empire or the Aztec Empire. All right, he did the same thing. You know, he went to the surrounding cities of the Aztec, and he told them, man, you know, you're giving too much tribute to this empire. You know, you're doing too much. Here, I'll help you out. Me and you join forces. All right, me and you join forces, and we're gonna go and attack them. All right, we're gonna go and attack them, and once we establish our power, we're gonna rule equally. You're gonna do your own thing, I'm gonna do mine. What did he do? Right after he enslaved the Aztecs, he went around enslaving everybody, you know? And he sent millions of natives, all right, back to Spain, all right, as slaves, you know? And from Spain, some were sent to Africa, and some that were in Africa already were later on came over here. So we were distributed, man, throughout the four corners of the earth, you know? That's why yesterday when I was going into Ezekiel 37, you know, it was going into the Israelites waking up, you know? And like it says in Acts chapter 2, we're going to come up out of every nation, man. Devout Jews, man. Devout, you know? To devote yourself to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it says in Psalms 58 and 1, do ye indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yea, in heart you work wickedness. All right, that word heart means lab, which is in mind. In mind you work wickedness, man. You might talk all this, oh, we love everybody the same, but in mind, all right, in your heart you work wickedness, you know, deceit. It says, you weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of the serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of the charmers, charming never so wisely. All right, and the charmers are here right now. You know, people talk about, you know, oh, I'll know when the end of the world is coming. All right, because I'll see the prophets talking about, you know, repentance. Well, that's happening right now, man. You know, and we don't have too much time left. You know, we are those charmers, man. Lord willing, I'm part of that number. You know, but we are those charmers, charming never so wisely. As Sirach 24 and 30, was it 32? Let's see. Sirach 24 and verse 32. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. All right, behold that I have not labored for myself only, but for all them that seek wisdom. You see? And that's how you know who a prophet is, man, by the prophecies that he's speaking. You see? So going back to Genesis 27 in verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have dominion. All right? When he has dominion, that means when he has rulership. As we read in 2 Ezra 6 and 9. You know? As we read in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, it says that thou shalt break the yoke from off thy neck. That means he's not going to be a slave to us anymore. All right? He came back in power, and he's still in power. You know? So that's the prophecy that was fulfilled. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of this blessing, wherein his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. You know? So he's always hated Jacob, man. Even when he was in the womb of the mother. You know? It says them two were fighting, man. They were actually fighting, trying to kill each other in the womb. 2 manner of nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people. The elder shall serve the younger, you know? But the younger was stronger, man. That's why when Esau Edom, as the conquistadors, came over here to the Americas, they tried to overtake the Aztec Empire, and they couldn't. You know? They couldn't overtake the Aztecs. They got their asses handed to them. That's why what they did was go around deceiving the rest of the Israelites, all right? So that the Israelites can fight the Israelites. That's why in boxing, you have Canelo, Mayweather, all right? What's his name? Junior? Junior's father, Julio Cesar. You know? Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali. That's why you have these big names, and they're all Jakes. You know? They're all Jakes, man. In MMA, like Elder Apostle Tahar had said, you have Jakes taking over MMA. In the world of sports, who's the strongest? The so-called Negroes. Second will be the Latinos. You know, the natives. They're a stronger people, man. We are the children of Israel, you know? So going back to Revelations 13, you know, just wanted to prove that point. So back in Revelations 13, it says, verse 8, all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. All right? And that's what the Israelites have. They have the patience for this devil, this beast system, all right, Esau, Edom, to be thrown down. You know, because as we read, this is an Edomite rulership, and this is talking about end-time prophecy. So that right now, we're in those times, man. We're in those end-time prophecies, you know? So it says, verse 11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. All right, so right now you have your Democrats and your Republicans. Those are the two main ones that you have, the 2 that are always being pushed forward. Democrats and Republicans. All right? The Democrats, the Republicans. The Democrats, the Republicans. You know? Those are always the 2 major parties, man. And back then you had what was called in Rome the plebeians and the patricians. All right? The plebeians, the patricians. The plebeians, the patricians. You know, that's what was pushed forward back then. All right? If you learn about the history of how Rome fell as a civilization, all right, you'll come to terms and you'll come to realize that America is following the same exact footsteps. You know? The money for the Roman Empire was made worthless. So what happened? Their economy collapsed. The same thing is happening right here, man. Back then, our money used to be backed up by gold, all right, by currency. Now that money is no longer backed up by gold or real currency, all right, but it's backed up by oil. That's why it's called the petrodollar. So we're in the brink of destruction, man, of the collapsing of America, Babylon. You know, that's why you have America fighting so damn hard, trying to get into these other countries, you know, that has oil. Oh yeah, you know, we stole their oil, but you know, we're making good use for it. All right, we're using it wisely for the better of mankind. That's something that Trump said recently. You know, President Trump just recently announced that, man. You know, that they're keeping the oil, but they're gonna use it wisely for the better of humanity. And it's because without that oil, the whole entire economy is gonna collapse. Because the dollar's not backed up by anything, it's just paper. And that's also a prophecy, man. You know? That the money was just gonna be thrown out. And it's happening as we speak. There's nations, all right, countries out there that are doing that right now because their money is worthless. Here in Latin America, slowly creeping up to America. Babylon, the United States, all right? It says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and he caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Which is who? The Roman Empire. You know? So America worships the first beast, man. That's why you have so much of the Roman, you know, the Roman ways of life here in Babylon. Like I made mention, the patricians, all right, the Democrats, the Republicans, you know, it's the same thing, man. It says, verse 13, and this is the one that I made mention earlier. And he goeth, he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Now, who else has ever used nuclear power to bring a nation down? There's only been one. All right? There's only been one nation in this earth that has ever used nuclear power to bring a nation down. And that's America. Even up to this day, what are we in, January 2020? All right? Still the only country to have ever used nuclear power to make fire come down from heaven is Babylon the Great, man. You know? Babylon the Great. So let me get this one. This is Isaiah 47, and I'm going to go to the last couple verses. All right? Just to make the point. Isaiah 47 and Joel. Bring out Joel. Joel chapter 2. This is Isaiah 47 and verse 13. Thou art wearied. Now let me go up to verse 11. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now in thine enchantments, with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, stargazers, and monthly prognosticators stand up, and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee, whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. That's the same thing in 2 Peter chapter 3 and in verse 10 on down. You know? The earth is going to be melted with fervent heat. The elements of the earth, the skies, everything is going to be melted with fervent heat, man. And that's talking about the ICBM. This is Joel chapter 2 and verse 5. Like the noise of chariots in the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. All right, which is what? Metal. All right. Before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. All right. So all faces are gonna gather fear. You know, all these faces shall gather fear, man. You know, men's hearts failing them. All right, for fear. That means heart attacks. People are gonna be getting heart attacks, man. When they see those ICBM missiles, when they're watching the news, all right, breaking news. This is not a drill. Russia, China have sent nuclear missiles to the United States of America. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. All right? People are going to be staring at those monitors, at the screen, gathering blackness, man. Shame. Fear. Heart attacks for the fear that is going to come upon them. You know? That's something terrifying, man. And that's the power of the Most High. You know? Even as I spoke it, man. Even as I spoke it, that shit is something of fearful. Terrible is the power of the Most High, man. You know? And he's going to prove his power. So it says, before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. All right? So all of them are going to be guided by the hand of the Most High, man. The Most High is going to be guiding those missiles. You know? For that same purpose, man. The destruction that is coming. That was promised. You see? So it says, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. All right? So when you throw those, defense missiles, you know, like there was that video in, what was it, in Iran or Iraq? No, Syria. All right? When they send missiles on Syria, guess what? Syria had a defense mechanism. All right, defense missiles, you know? And when they shot up those defense missiles, it diffused a lot of those missiles that were gonna hit. You know? Still missiles hit, but it diffused a lot of missiles that would have hit. You know? And that's not gonna save you this time, man. You know, so when those missiles, guided by the hand of the Most High, fall upon the sword, upon these defense missiles, it's going to knock them off. The Most High is going to put that power on those missiles, man. So it says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up on the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. All right? And like it says in the scripture, a thief cometh not, but to kill and to destroy. You see? And that's what the Lord said. The Lord said, a thief cometh not, but to kill and to destroy. So when those missiles hit, those missiles are not coming here to save everybody. Those missiles are coming to destroy everything that is not Yahweh Shai, that is not Yahweh, that is not part of the elect. All the impurities are going to be washed off, man. You know? So it says, the earth shall quake before them, and the heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. All right, that's the same thing we read in the book of Isaiah. You know, what was that? The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. You know, that's because of the death and destruction that's coming. You see? So it says, and Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? You see? Who can abide through those days, man? Nobody. You know? Nobody can abide through those days. So you are going to have, what was it, in the first few chapters of Isaiah? All right, it tells you about the bunkers. I think it's Isaiah 4. It tells you about the elite having those bunkers. You know, that's not going to stop anything, man. You know, because the elect, when they come down to hunt, when they become hunters of men, the elect are coming back, and they're going to go, and they're going to know exactly where to go. You know? Isaiah 4, I believe. Isaiah 4 and 15. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and the Most High that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. All right, the mean man. And that's what Esau Edom is, man. Esau Edom is the mean man, the big bad wolf, all right, that dresses like a sheep, that tries to be humble like a sheep. You know, that's also in Revelation 13. You know, the plebeians, patricians, the Democrats, the Republicans, they try to act like a docile lamb, sheep, humble. Oh, this guy wants better for this, but there comes with a consequence. And this guy is going to fix that consequence, but it comes with another consequence. So you pick and choose. But really, you're just picking the evil out of the both evils, lesser evil. You know? It says, Let me get this one. I can't find that other one. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Might have been 2. Captivity 15 and children. So I can't find it. Let me get this one. This is Isaiah 5:26. And you will lift up an ensign to the nations from afar, and will hiss unto them from the ends of the earth. And they shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary, nor stumble amongst them. None shall slumber, nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosed, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken. Whose arrows are sharp, and all their bows bent. Their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. Yea, they shall roar and lay hold of their prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. And in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one looked unto the land, behold darkness and sorrow, and the light is darkened, and the heavens thereof. All right, because of the death and destruction, the war that's going to be coming here, man. You know, so there isn't going to be any light that, here in Babylon. You know, so it says, it's locked. Revelations 13 and 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. All right, and that's the Roman system. You know, so now they have democracy. Now they're trying to push their democracy on the whole earth, man. Come on, man, let's get together. All right, we have this power, but look, we're not using it. We're just trying to establish democracy. We're trying to establish peace. We're trying to establish prosperity. But they had drawn swords, man. Really, they're just trying to kill and destroy. You know? That's their blessing. The sword. So that's what they live by, the sword, man. They live by the sword and they're going to die by the sword. It says, verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that word mark there is Strong's G 5480, charagma. Charagma. All right? Which means imprinted or a carved mark. An imprinted or carved mark. All right? So he's going to force you to receive a mark. He's going to force you to get an imprint. No? So verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that hath a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And when you go into the Greek, that says chai shai stigma. Chai Shai stigma. All right, that word stigma goes to stigmatis, which means to pierce. All right, so you're gonna be pierced by this RFID technology, man. You know, which you shouldn't even be taking. It's against the law of the Most High to take that RFID chip. This is Revelations 14 and 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahweh Shai. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are they that are dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. All right? So it says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right? So you have to keep the commandments, man. Laws, statutes, and commandments are not done away with. All right? You still have to keep them. Let me get this one in the book of Psalms. This is Psalms chapter 44. Psalms 44 and verse 20. If we have forgotten the name of our God, or stretch out our hands to a strange God, shall not the Most High Yahweh search this out? For he knoweth the secrets of the heart. Yea, for thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter. Awake, why sleepest thou, O Yahweh? Arise, cast us not far off forever. Wherefore hidest thou thy face, and forgotten our affliction and our oppression? For our soul is bowed down to the dust, and our belly cleaveth unto the earth. Arise for our help, and redeem us for thy mercy's sake. All right? Redeem us for our mercy's sake. Let me go to Matthew chapter 1 and verse 21. Matthew 1 and 21. And it reads, And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahweh Shai, for he shall save his people from their sins. Redeem his people from their sins. All right? So Israel is being redeemed only. You know? Why? Because we keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Yahweh Shai was perfect. Is perfect. You know? The laws are not done away with. This is the book of Micah. Chapter 4 and verse 4. Remember ye the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all Israel. All right? For all Israel. So Revelations 14 says it. All right? And Micah 4 and 4 says it. You know? So going to Leviticus 19 and 28. Leviticus 19 and 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahweh. All right? You're not going to make any marks upon you, man. You know? So if you're a so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, all right, you should not take the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip. All right? I was going to make a video. Yesterday, I watched the movie Gemini. Gemini Man. And in the movie Gemini Man, you had Will Smith that was doing these secret missions, man. You know? Trying to get information. Going from one place to another. And every single place he was going to, as soon as he got there, they already knew where he was going. And they kept on catching him. And he was confused. The whole movie he was confused. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? You know? What's going on? How did you find me? So finally at the end, his clone goes up to him and he was like, do you trust me? Right? So he tells him yes, and he says, put your forearm out. So he puts his forearm out, and then they cut into his muscle, all right? They cut into his muscle, and he pulls out an RFID chip. He was being tracked the whole time, you know? He was being tracked the whole time by the government. And he was wondering, how the hell do they know where I'm at? And that's what Esau Edom wants to do. He wants to get full control of the people. How do you do that? By keeping tabs on them, man. By keeping tabs on them. And if you don't get that RFID chip, because it's going to become mandatory, you won't be able to buy. You won't be able to sell. If you have a PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, if you have a car, if you have a house you're trying to sell, if you have a couple of Jordans you're trying to sell, if you have some shoes, if you have some clothes that you're trying to sell, if you have books that you're trying to buy, how are you going to go to a private owner, a private seller, and sell philosophy onto him? It's not like that, man. All right? It's going to be, I'm transferring 40 credits to you. Control it with your mind. All right? $40. All right? They're going to have a little device. $40. Scan your chip. Press yes. Boom, you're good. You sold your merchandise. You bought the merchandise. It's the RFID chip, man. Radio, all right? RFID. Radio frequency identification. That's the mark. That's the charagma, you know? And I'm recording with my phone, but I have some pictures, all right, where it shows you the cross, which is the tool that they use. And then they have the chip, which goes inside any part of your body. Not just your right hand, all right? Not just your forehead, any part of your body. The right hand represents the deal, making a deal with the devil, all right? Esau Edom. And what's his name? He's supposed to be this super smart guy. Damn, I forgot his name. Ah, shit. But he's supposedly making this chip available this year, 2020. All right, year of prophecy. He's trying to make this chip available so you can chip the back of your head. All right, and you can control your car, turn on your car from far away. You don't have to go out in the freezing cold anymore. It's convenient. And that's what the RFID chip is bringing, convenience. How convenient, all right, that you don't have to be looking for your damn wallet all the time. You don't have to carry a wallet anymore. You get pulled over, they come up to you with a device, you show them your hand, beep, everything comes up. John Doe, 25 years old, born and raised in Texas, moved to New York at the age of 26, has had every single shot since he was 8 years old, since he was born, had straight A's. All the information you could think of is going to be on that RFID chip, man, which is the mark of the beast, and it is going to be established by this damn devil, Esau Edom. All right, by the ruling class, the elite. So let me go back to it, and I'll finish it up there. This is Revelations 13 and verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. All right, and that word mark again means an incision. All right, an incision or an imprinted carved mark, or a imprinted carved mark. And in Leviticus 19 and 28, you have the word mark again, which means kwai, all right, which means an incision or an imprint. You see, so it ties in, it's the same thing. An incision is a carved mark, man. You know? And that mark of the beast is how the beast, the one world government, is gonna keep tabs on every person in the earth. You know? Because when you have your emperor is gonna have people that are under him, all right? Just like Moses and his father-in-law told him, all right, it's not good that you're taking care of every single Israelite. It's not good that you're reading every single, you're gonna wear yourself out, you know? So appoint chiefs, all right? What you should do is appoint rulers over them, you know, besides you, judges, that those judges can judge. That way not everything comes up to you. Just like in a store. You have the general manager, all right, which is above every single store. And then you have the store manager. And then you have the assistant manager. That way, all in all, if you have 20 stores, all right, you're going to end up having, what, like 40 people that have some type of rulership. And one is going to be you above all those, you know? So that's what Esau Edom's trying to do. How can he manage everybody in the whole world? Well, if you give him a chip, he can command you to do whatever he wants to do, you know? So that was it for Revelations 13. I hope that was edifying. With that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth to rule well. Shalom, and stay strong out there, Akim. We're almost out. Shalom.